This is a video that I've been wanting to make for a long time, and now that the season has finished, I feel like it's a fitting time. This is a video on Ryan Gravenberch's journey, story, his rise, his fall, and then his rise back to the top. Let's go. Early childhood. So Ryan Gravenberch was born in Amsterdam and he grew up there. And he was just like any other kid in Amsterdam playing football in the streets, but he eventually joined amateur club AVV Zeeburger, and Ajax scouts saw him and noticed his talent, and eventually he joined Ajax at 8 years old in 2010, following his older brother's footsteps, Denzel. And talking about Denzel Gravenberch, he was one of Ryan Gravenberch's idols. Without him, Ryan Gravenberch wouldn't be the player he is today. He used to play with his older brother in the streets, with him and against him. And Denzel Gravenberch pushed Ryan to the limit and pushed him to become better and better. Some of Ryan Gravenberch's other idols are also Messi and Ronaldo. And his father also pushed him to watch a lot of Zinedine Zidane as well. After joining the Ajax Academy, Ryan Gravenberch became a sensation. Ryan Gravenberch's former coach, Brian Tevreden, promoted him to the Ajax under-15s as a 12-year-old, so you can already see here that he was beyond his years. And he also described him as a better version of Paul Pogba. That is some praise right there. And eventually Ryan Gravenberch made his professional debut with Jong Ajax in the second division at 16 in a 5-2 win over Dordrecht on the 24th of August 2018. And he also made his debut for Ajax in the first division of Dutch football on September the 23rd, 2018, making him the youngest player to make his debut in the Eredivisie since Clarence Seedorf. At this point of his career, Ryan Gravenberch is touted as one of the best prospects in football, and it was only a matter of time before he made his international debut for the Netherlands on the 24th of March 2021 versus Turkey. After making his debut for Ajax at 16 years old, Ryan Gravenberch has not looked back. He made 103 appearances for Ajax, won 3 Eredivisie League titles and 2 Dutch Cups. He has completed Dutch football at this point of his career. So at only 20 years old, Ryan Gravenberch has established himself as a key part of Ajax and a key part of their success, and he's already completed Dutch football. Here are some of the qualities that make him stand out. He was known as a technical and agile player who's very comfortable and skillful on the ball. He was tactically aware and knows how to navigate around the pitch. Excellent on the half turn when receiving the ball. He has an unbelievable ability to carry the ball like a Yaya Toure, like a Paul Pogba. And he was also known for his progressive passing and breaking lines. Ryan Gravenberch is now known as one of the most talented and exciting young prospects in world football, and all top European clubs want him. But he still needed to improve on some areas. Firstly, his motor. Was he able to show consistent and elite work rate throughout an entire 90 minutes? That was a question mark. And also his defensive responsibility was another question mark. After completing Dutch football, Ryan Gravenberch decided to take the next step and joined Bayern Munich on June the 13th, 2022 for 18.5 million euros. This looked like an absolute bargain for one of the most exciting players in the world. However, Ryan Gravenberch had a tough start at Bayern Munich. With the depth and quality that Bayern had, Gravenberch had very limited playing time and he could not get ahead of the likes of Musiala, Müller, Sabitzer and Kimmich. Ryan Gravenberch was frustrated at Bayern Munich due to his lack of game time, and he publicly complained to the press about his lack of game time, much to Bayern's displeasure. However, Nagelsmann got sacked by Bayern and was replaced by Thomas Tuchel. So would this be a new beginning for Ryan Gravenberch? Unfortunately for Ryan Gravenberch, the same story happened again under Thomas Tuchel. He described Ryan Gravenberch: "He's a box-to-box midfielder for me, an attacking player. The main problem for him is that we don't really play with the number 8 in our 4-2-3-1 system, and we're spoilt for choice up front with really experienced players. Ryan is a very nice, hard-working, committed player." Look, Thomas Tuchel blatantly said that Ryan Gravenberch didn't fit his system at all, and as a result of this, his game time was very limited once again. And he later on says Ryan Gravenberch wasn't happy with his situation. He's wanted to go for a while. An offer came in and we discussed it. It's not done yet, but the outcome is clear. Look, Ryan Gravenberch, joined Bayern Munich as one of the most talented young players in the world, one of the most bright, exciting prospects. But at this time of his career, two managers haven't found a way to fit him. He's publicly shown his frustrations, and he's hit rock bottom at this point. He was once known as one of the most technically gifted footballers in the world, one of the most promising, bright, young prospects we've ever seen in football, following Clarence Seedorf's footsteps in being the youngest player to make his debut in the Eredivisie. Now, Ryan Gravenberch is a shadow of himself, publicly showing his frustrations, not being able to fit in any manager's system, people questioning his defensive capability. He's become an afterthought at this point of his career. But eventually, Liverpool Football Club signed Ryan Gravenberch on the 1st of September 2023 for £34.2 million. Look, at the end of the day, his stint at Bayern didn't work, but Liverpool still had belief in this player because he has all the ability in the world. Gravenberch had a tough spell at Bayern, but at Liverpool it was a new chapter, and he wanted to rekindle his form and try and play first team football at a consistent basis again. Initially, Ryan Gravenberch was very pleased with Klopp. He says, "When I spoke to him, he gave me a warm feeling like a family, you know. That's what I missed. I'm very happy he gave me that feeling. I've got a good connection with the coach," he added. "When he has something to say to me about the game or something else, we just talk with each other. I have a good connection with him. He just gives me confidence to give me minutes on the pitch again. He just told me, enjoy the game again, and that's what I did. With the minutes back, the confidence came back." However, the same problems that happened at Bayern happened at Liverpool. Ryan Gravenberch was still considered an 8 by Klopp, and he wasn't able to fit into Klopp's system. And even players like Endo, who really was meant to be a squad player, started over him. Again, the ambiguity of Gravenberch's position and ability is hindering him at this point of his career. He showed flashes in the Premier League and he had a lot of great cameos in the Europa League. It was definitely a step up from Bayern Munich, for sure, because at Bayern Munich we never got to see any of his ability. For Liverpool in his first season, we saw flashes, we saw some of the elegance he had, especially in the Europa League. He was performing very well, but he couldn't get game time week in, week out for Liverpool. And even though he recorded 38 appearances, a lot of them came from the bench, 48 minutes per appearance. The same problems were happening again for Ryan Gravenberch. Ryan Gravenberch couldn't fit into any team that he's played on for the last couple of years now. Under Thomas Tuchel, he couldn't fit. Under Nagelsmann, he couldn't fit. Under Jurgen Klopp, he couldn't fit into his system. At this point of his career, Ryan Gravenberch is labelled as an 8, who is not too creative enough to play in advanced positions and who's not defensively responsible enough and capable enough to play in the deeper position. Right now, Ryan Gravenberch's career is in a standstill and in a stagnant position. Midway through the season, Liverpool made a shock announcement and Klopp made a shock announcement that he was leaving Liverpool, and Arne Slot was appointed as Liverpool head coach on the 20th of May 2024. After the Euros, Arne Slot called Ryan Gravenberch and said, "I want you to focus on the number 8, but I also want to see you in the number 6, Gravenberch recalls. "My reaction was really good. It doesn't really matter where you play as long as you play." At this point of Ryan Gravenberch's career, he's desperate for first team football and he wants to play week in, week out. And Arne Slot knows about Ryan Gravenberch's quality. He's managed in Feyenoord, the same league as which Ryan Gravenberch used to play in. So he knows a lot about the player, his qualities, his strengths and weaknesses. So potentially this could be a great change for Ryan Gravenberch. And so it was. Ryan Gravenberch had an excellent pre-season playing in the 6 under Arne Slot. For me, notable performances were against Sevilla and Manchester United. I believe Liverpool also played Real Betis and Las Palmas as well. But whenever Ryan Gravenberch played for Liverpool in the pre-season, he was unbelievable. He looked like Sergio Busquets out there in the half turn, so composed on the ball, progressing the ball, breaking the lines. And Ryan Gravenberch has refound himself in the deeper position. However, there were still doubts about him from the Liverpool fan base. Every Liverpool fan were like, whoa, this kid is looking very good and he looks like he's refound himself, right? He's found a new lease of life. But it was only pre-season. Would it translate to the Premier League? After an excellent showing in pre-season, Ryan Gravenberch has earned the start against Ipswich in the opening game of the Premier League. And he did not disappoint. This was one of the most complete performances I've seen from a midfielder in a Liverpool shirt. The way he was receiving the ball on the half turn, the way he was carrying the ball, the way he was switching play, the way he was sharp in his defensive actions. He was covering ground. He was aggressive. He was making interceptions. There was one beautiful ball he played to Luis Diaz in the final third. It was one of the most complete performances. He did every single thing that a midfielder is supposed to do at the highest of levels. He was initiating every offensive action. He was the heart and soul of our team and was the best player by a country mile against Ipswich. After an unbelievable performance against Ipswich, Ryan Gravenberch earned himself another start against Brentford in the second game of the season, and he did not disappoint again. He performed at the highest of levels and in my opinion was the best player on the pitch once again. Now, at this point, Ryan Gravenberch has solidified himself as a starter, and now against a big match against Manchester United, was he going to perform? Of course he was. He made 2 vital interceptions which led to both goals for Liverpool and also completely turned Kobbie Mainoo and left him in the dust. Another performance where he dominated the opposition's midfield, and now Ryan Gravenberch is slowly ascending to becoming one of the best midfielders in the Premier League, and he's establishing himself finally. At this point, Ryan Gravenberch was racking up elite performances in the Premier League, and he was looking like Liverpool's best player, to be honest. Take all the stats away and look at the game, watch the game, and Ryan Gravenberch's Liverpool's best player. He's impacting the game in all facets. Defensively, he's looking so sharp. He's contributing defensively. He's protecting the back line. He's in the right place at the right time. His ability on the ball is still showing. He is a complete midfielder at this point, and he's one of the most consistent performers in the Premier League and has become one of the best players in the Premier League. And he's also winning man of the match performances in the Champions League. Ryan Gravenberch has established himself again and has proven why he was one of the best young talents, and now he's showing his true ability. And eventually Liverpool have steamrolled the Premier League and Ryan Gravenberch has mastered the 6. He has recorded the most interceptions from a Premier League midfielder this season. Every defensive action he's been unbelievable in. His defensive awareness, IQ, ability, discipline, it's all there. He's finally understood the 6 position, and moving from the 8 to 6 might have been the greatest move to happen to his career. After conquering Dutch football, Ryan Gravenberch has moved to the Premier League and has conquered English football in his first season, whilst being one of the most integral and instrumental part of Liverpool's success. He has risen to being one of the best midfielders in the world. He is not known as this young talent, promising talent. He's known as one of the best midfielders in the world and the Premier League. His consistency and his elite performances earned him PFA Young Player of the Year. He was so good this season, he was also named in the Team of the Season for the Premier League. Finally, Ryan Gravenberch has established himself of being one of the best midfielders in the world, and he's been so good this season that he's even got a move named after him, the Gravenberch turn. This is where he manipulates the ball and leaves the defender in the dust. This guy has been one of Liverpool's most consistent and best performers, and he's been an integral and vital piece of why we've won the Premier League. But what's next? For me, the next step of his game is to add goals and assists. If he can do that, he's already a problem, but he's going to be a major problem. Just to finish, thank you guys for watching the video. Like, share, subscribe, and peace.